I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. It really feels like people have been talking about Kenny Omega's AEW run for months now. But before I begin, I have a question. If you're new to Kenny Omega and you're not familiar with him prior to his AEW run, what's your opinion of him? The chances are it's not the same as somebody's opinion who has followed him in New Japan and everywhere else prior. And I truly wonder what a lot of new fans think of him, because a lot of people seem to think that he's been disappointing in AEW. So, has Kenny Omega been disappointing in AEW? My answer is no. The number one thing that Kenny Omega has obviously been known for is his in-ring wrestling. He cuts a good promo too, but it's his wrestling. And when I look at his matches in AEW, he hasn't regressed and he hasn't disappointed to me one bit. Look at some of the best matches he's had in AEW so far. With Hangman Page against the Young Bucks, against the Lucha Bros, 30-minute Iron Man match against Pac, the hardcore main event against Jon Moxley. These are all elite, no pun intended, top-level matches. And oh yeah, those matches would easily be on any top 10 matches of AEW's short history so far. No doubt about it. So I don't think his wrestling has regressed one bit. I think he's been solid and consistent in between all of those high-level matches, and I have absolutely no complaint there. So what is it? Why do people talk about him like he's such a disappointment, like things have gone so far south since he joined AEW? In my opinion, what has been disappointing is Omega's position on the AEW roster. Let's backtrack for a second. When Omega was a free agent before AEW was a thing, he was undoubtedly the hottest free agent at the time, and maybe of all time. He was coming off an insane run in New Japan where he gave us some of the best matches that people have ever seen. So if he stayed with New Japan when he was a free agent, he would undoubtedly still be at the top of the card, maybe the world champ still. But had he decided to join Impact Wrestling under his boy Don Callis, where would he be on the card there? Definitely at the top. If he signed with NXT, where would he be on the card? Easily at the top. He probably would even skip NXT. So, if he was on the WWE main roster, where would he be on the card there? Mind you, this is the same place where wrestling superstars, not WWE's definition of superstars, real superstars in wrestling, where they sign and watch their careers fizzle out because they have no clue what to do with them. Where would Omega be there? I have a hard time believing he would not be at the top of the card. Point in case, AJ Styles. He's been a star ever since. He's never been buried. He's been booked well. And that's what I think Omega would have fallen into. So then tell me, why isn't he at the top of the card in AEW? A company where he is an executive vice president, his friends are executive vice presidents, and he was supposed to be a staple, cornerstone, franchise player of this company upon its launch. Why isn't he at the top of the card? And look, I get timing is relevant here. AEW launches, you have Chris Jericho, you want to make him your inaugural champion because he's easily the most popular name and you want to get as most eyes on the product as possible. Makes perfect sense and it's a great idea. Then you sign Jon Moxley, another extremely popular, well-known name, and you want to strike while the iron is hot and he's an electric babyface. Makes perfect sense. I get why you'd have him be the next champion. But Kenny Omega, is there any better wrestler on this continent than him? I don't think there is. And that's why he has to be at least near the title picture. And that's not to say that his run as a part of a tag team with Hangman has been disappointing at all. I've really enjoyed it. I think the whole storyline has been the best thing that AEW has had going on for them so far. And again, he's delivered in that role. But come on. This is Kenny Omega. Omega addressed this by saying he still believes that he's the best wrestler in the world and that being the best bout machine means being able to diversify your portfolio. Again, since leaving New Japan, he's had success with Hangman Page as a part of a tag team. He holds a belt in AAA. And of course, he's also an executive vice president in AEW where apparently he plays a big role in the women's division. And those are all really important things. And I don't think that he's gotten enough credit that he deserves for his role in all of those aspects. I'm not so sure that a lot of top wrestlers at his level would even have the humility to take a step back and work primarily in a tag team. And going to Mexico and holding a belt in AAA is very significant because now he can say that he's worked everywhere and held gold everywhere, and that just makes him more well-traveled and proves that he can be a draw and a success anywhere in the world. But this is the best bout machine we're talking about. His wrestling is unbelievable. I think his wrestling has the ability to transform the way North American audiences watch wrestling. Everyone had to watch him in New Japan. There was no way you could not watch what was going on in there. Everyone heard it, and you had to see it. He was that good. He put a lot of eyes on their product, and it's very easy to see that New Japan understood that and put him in a position so they could succeed in America. He and his counterparts in New Japan raised the bar for what we consider top-level wrestling matches and took it to a whole nother level. It changed the way we watch, think, and analyze wrestling matches and set a new standard for high-level quality. And now coming to the US for a trending new promotion with a big television deal, he has the potential to change everything. And all along, that was him and Kota Ibushi's goal, right? To change the world. And I think he seriously has the potential to do that. This is no bullshit. I really buy that because I think that his wrestling is that good to the point where everyone will have to watch AEW. If he's giving us matches like he did in New Japan and he's on fire the way he was, can anyone really look away? I don't think so. I think everyone will watch. And isn't that really the point of him coming to the United States? To prove that he is that big of a draw? Because he is. They just haven't tapped into it yet. Because don't forget, Kenny Omega is a new name to American television audiences. And that was a big part of it upon coming from New Japan. This was a big coup and a new face that you can put on TV and hopefully be someone to attract so many people because of his reputation prior. But for whatever reason, AEW just hasn't consistently put him at the top of the card yet. I mean, this is a guy who had an epic feud with Okada and then pinned him twice in a row to win a title that he couldn't get for so long. He shouldn't really be chasing the AEW title from afar. He should be right in the thick of it. One thing that I must say is that he has been selfless in putting other people over. Losing to Pac at All Out was a huge surprise to me, and I know there was a little bit of controversy as to what happened with Pac originally with AEW. Did he not want to lose to Omega or Hangman? Did some other company prevent him from losing to them? We don't know. It's also possible that because he's an EVP in AEW, he has the company's best interest in mind and doesn't want to just put himself over and be the top guy automatically and really wants the company to succeed. I think that's something that the Young Bucks have done and Cody, and I really would be surprised if it applies to Omega too. But there comes a point where he's got to be in title contention, if not the champion, because he's just too damn good. And of course, the coronavirus outbreak is still looming, and that helps no one, and it only slows down Omega and Hangman's feud and just delays when we're going to get that payoff, because I do think it's going to be huge, and I do think that it's going to be something that we enjoy. And it could potentially lead to a match between Hangman and Omega that would absolutely be a banger. But I don't worry that we're not going to see that version of Omega because he's still been booked well with what they've been doing with him so far. Again, he hasn't been disappointing in the tag team. He hasn't been disappointing with his wrestling. He's still there. They just got to pull the trigger and shoot him to the moon. And I think that in due time, as storylines progress and the top of the card changes a little bit, he's going to get up there and he's going to be the champion in the near future. But that's enough of what I think. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about Omega's AEW run and where you think he should be on the card. Also, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe for more content just like this. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at @A_Barragato. But for now, I'm Anthony, and thank you for watching.